From one point in space emerges an infinite line. Pick an arbitrary distance from that line. Rotate it around one end, and then around the other. You have created the vesica Piscis, and with it the 3:2 proportion, which is a geometric representation of the beginning of the Fibonacci sequence, as it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13 and so on, ad infinitum, giving birth to the golden ratio phi. Drawing a vertical line through the points of the intersecting circles, and a diagonal line through a corner of the rectangle, creates the shape of a 3-4-5 triangle. The numbers 3, 4, and 5 are represented here by an equilateral triangle, rectangle and pentagon, respectively. The sums of their angles follow the pattern of the Fibonacci sequence. The number 5 contains phi, as the square root of 5 plus 1 divided by 2 equals 1.6180339887499 or phi exactly. The pentagram within the pentagon also reveals the divine proportion phi. With this proportion, the golden rectangle can be constructed. It mathematically replicates itself infinitely, each new rectangle keeping the same proportion as the preceding one. If you want to see this proportion in real life, just take a look at your hands. This fresco by Michelangelo, called The Creation of Adam, also follows the golden ratio. It is showing God, depicted as an old man, being in what resembles a brain, reaching out to touch his creation Adam. Their fingers meet exactly at the golden ratio point. It is written, God created man in his own image, symbolized here by the golden rectangle replicating itself. And considering that Michelangelo used his mind and his hands, which are physical manifestations of the golden ratio, to create this fresco, it mirrors the very act depicted here. The golden ratio can also be found in the design of sacred architecture, such as temples and churches, mimicking the body or fleshly temple of man. Man was also created ad circulum by the circle, meaning, when a circle is drawn with the navel as its center, then all limbs will touch that circle. And ad quadratum by the square, meaning man is as tall as he is wide, the genitals marking the center of the square. Both navel and genitals are related to reproduction, the navel connecting man to the previous generations, or the past. And the genitals are responsible for the creation of the next generation, the future, with man and the present combining all three. But man cannot replicate himself, so God took the side of Adam and created an equal counterpart, Eve, thus creating the 3:2 proportion, and the beginning of the golden ratio, to be fruitful and multiply infinitely. Having a square, it takes only a few steps to create an equilateral pentagon, fitting the proportion of man. And by connecting the corners, a pentagram emerges, which produces a smaller pentagon inside. Just like the human child, that enters this world head first, or upside down.